Ta-da! 2 streams in 1 day. You there, Jason? This is your fault. Showing me things that I didn't know. How dare you? Right. For those anyone rewatching this, Jason from over at Jason's Lab, go and subscribe to him. Said to me that there's a portal for Aruba Instant On. Well, they don't tell you about this thing. I've just been back through all the documentation, including all the bits of paper that come with all the Aruba kit, and it's all about using the mobile app. Scan, download, even in the boxes, nothing mentions a portal. Absolutely diddly squat. So, yeah, until Jason went, oh, you need to configure it all in the portal. I'm like, what portal? Well, the portal that comes with it. Which portal? There's not a mention of it. Doesn't even say anything in the app about a portal. Doesn't say anything on the kit about a portal. So flick over. See, there's nothing on here that says there's a portal. Go and manage this kit in the portal. I think they could do with a link, maybe. That would make a bit more sense. Add a link in. Just wait for a few people to come on board. Just got back in. Because I think Jason will be thoroughly upset if he's not here. To astound me with this amazing revelation. I'm even going to have a look in the app. I don't even think the app mentions anything about a portal. So let's have a look, see what we've got. So everything is okay. Topology. Application. Networks. Nope. Nothing in there. Everything is fine. Let's tap my thing. Nothing in the... Nope. Nothing in there. So everything is online. That's fine. Inventory. Data transferred none because I've got nothing connected to it at the moment. Up there. Site management. Add new devices. See. There's no option to say go to the portal. So. Go with Aruba. Instant on. And there's not even any... Right. Okay, so scrolling down through all of this. Bye, yeah, bye. Instant on app. See, there's nothing here that says there's a portal. So, network management. Okay. Manage up to 50 APs and switches, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, fine. Cloud management stack. Yeah, fine. Okay. Manage your network your way. Can't be asked. Management fee. Yeah, guided. That's all free. Yeah, I fully agree. It's very easy to get up and running. Multi-network. No, yeah, fine. So, the basics of this are resources. The resources? No. No. Oh. So, yes. If you did not know that there's a portal, you'd never know. Because they don't advertise it. Okay, so what is the difference? Range. This is a 19th. We've got the 1430, the 1830, 19th. So I have a 19th over here. Is layer 2 plus, and then it goes up to the 1960, which bigger. What we got? 10 gig and 10 gig. Oh, okay. So we've got 9. You've made it. Welcome. Right. There is nothing, not a single mention of a portal on any documentation that comes with the kit, the app, or on the website. Nothing. All it says is use the mobile app. So, yeah. Where's my log into the portal? You can do more by configuring it in the portal. No, get the app and we'll sell you products, but there's nothing that mentions a portal. Hence me not even knowing that there was a portal. So yes. Frustration there. I'll tell you what the other sad part, unfortunately, is it's part of HPE. I mean, that's it's never a good thing to be owned by HPE. They do terrible things with companies. But anyway, I have your link. You're gonna have to stare at me for a minute while I fill in this. Yeah, I'm going. I'm going. Let me just sign in. I don't remember what my password is. Oh, I've temporarily locked my account. Please try again later. Let's reset my password. See, I mean, frustration already. Why not put need to do more configuration? Visit the portal at. No, they hide this. This is hidden. So why are Aruba hiding this? Is that because they don't want to expose this to everybody? Questions. Interesting questions. I'm now going to have to quickly jump through all the hoops to reset my password. 2 seconds while I go and do that. Other than that, if you'd be pleased to say, I was actually quite positive on this stuff for what it was showing me for the mobile app, but I still have concerns. Unfortunately, because it's owned by HPE, who like to hide things behind paywalls. Now, while they've said yes, obviously it's free for the life of the product, what happens when they decide that the product's actually costing them lots of money? Hold on. I have the box it came in. Compliance, 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 and a power lead. Let's consult. Ah, no, it's not. I've already ready. Right, here's the switch. There it is. Switch. Go for the refresh. Which is, hold on, let me switch screens. There we go. Nothing in there. Not a mention of a portal. Doesn't say anything about. Printed off a manual. Go to the IP address. Yeah. Blah blah blah. Power cords. Safety and regulatory. Installation. No. Same thing, but in different languages. Nothing. Diddly squat. Now, whether that's because this being the Instant On test kit from Aruba, there's a later manual that needs to be got, but there's nothing in the kit I've got that says there is an online portal. I rest my case. Until then, however, let me just reset my password, and we'll go in, and then you can actually get my first impression of it. It's not as if they're shouting up and down. It's here. So there's nothing. There's nothing here. Can't click on anything. There's no link at all. None of this. There's nothing. There is no. It's hidden. It's hidden on this page, and it's hidden on their main site. Where on the main site? Unless I'm completely missing something here. Go to support. Is I'm challenging you now. Find me a page that has a link to the portal, because I'm not seeing it. Even getting started. Manage your network from it says, or the browser of your choice. But there's no link. Oh my god, there we go. Found it finally. Hidden, literally buried on a page. So, yeah. Anyway, now we found it, hopefully. 2 seconds. You just sign back in. It'll let me see if it's unlocked my account. Great success. Right. Everything is okay in the loft. I'll deal with 2. Got nothing. Yeah, but there's nothing. Look, I can't click anything. This goes nowhere. Nothing here. Instant on portals. Yeah, it says it's connected to their cloud, but there's no link. No link. Anyway, we're here now. We're logged in. So let's have a look. So we've got the site. You add other sites. Around software updates. Update. Yeah, choose when it's up to date. Okay, guest portal. Ah, there it is. So I can link it in. Ugh, purple. Right, that's good to see. Again, why can't we do that from the mobile app? Hey ho. Time zone, all correct. Admin, yeah. Accounts managing, so I can invite more accounts in. Okay, so you set up multiple sites. There you go, set up. Oh, so right, so fine, we can have multi-sites. Networks. There we go. So we've got, there's our network with its VLAN, network security. Yeah, normal stuff. Network access, unrestricted. Port isolation, okay. And okay, so we can tag and untag VLANs. Good. Tagged, untagged, nothing. Yeah, fine. Where? Where? It says instant on message. It is in the portal though. This is all adopted. Look. Look. There's my switch. There's my switch. It's adopted. But I go to the switch. Crash. This is what I'm saying. It's not showing me anything. Everything is onboarded, but it's not giving me a link. That's my point. Right there. Instant on portal message, device onboarding message. Great. But it's not letting me click anything, and it seems to. I don't know if unless it's being limited somehow, but it's reporting itself in. So connectivity anyway. Allow routing, so that's fine. So you can use this as a router should you need to. Ports. Networks. Okay, so networks. Lag ports. Hold on, right, let's have a look. Looking now, right, okay. Yeah. Do all the normal stuff. Yeah. But what I'm saying is when you get supplied with this, so this was sent out to me as the right one. This was sent out from Aruba to us to look at as a company. They said everything's in the box. So they sent us a nice box with two APs and a switch. And you open it up and the instructions are download the app and away you go. So you'd think, right, yeah, this is what I'm saying. Something is missing here. Now, if it's the kit because it's older kit, maybe, or if there's something specific about it. But hence why it didn't show me anything about a portal. When you said there's a portal, I'm like, what portal? There was no portal. There's not even a mention of a portal in any of the kit we've got. So you can see my frustration here is that there's an entire segment to this hardware that's not mentioned in anything from Aruba. You would think that even on the getting started guide, where's that one? There it is. The Aruba getting started guide that literally is download the app, it's on. That's it. It's not even double sided. It says nothing. Well, that's why I was quite disappointed because this obviously changes kind of how it behaves. It gives a few, obviously, it gives a few of the more advanced features, which is great. So I can go in and actually start to look at stuff and turn lights off, and yeah, which this is all great. Tweak the radio, fine, yeah. Again, this is all the stuff I expected. This is all the stuff that doesn't surprise me. I mean, I was quite disappointed that I didn't have these features available to me because obviously they hadn't told anyone that they keep the app, the website portal, quite a bit quieter. But there we go. Now I know. I have learned today. So what I was going to have a look at, let's have a look at. So we've got the networks. We've got the normal stuff. So network security, radius, WPA2, WPA3, bandwidth control. You can nap these, fine, and you can tweak. Yeah, wireless schedule. Yes. And it does a little bit of packet inspection, so it obviously inspects traffic to a little bit. So it's an interesting portal. Obviously, again, having used all the various different portals, whether it be and wireless controllers over the years, it gives you access to everything that seems to be generally all good. I'm still not seeing, other than yeah, you go and have your lunch, I'll still be here poking around. I may even record a TikTok while I'm here, berating Aruba for hiding this. Mm. But that doesn't do the sad record myself while recording myself bit, because I need to answer some questions on TikTok while I'm here. And give some plugs to relevant people out anyway. Update on this. Some very kind soul called Jason over at Jason's Lab on YouTube, go subscribe, has pointed me in the direction of the Aruba Instant On portal, which they don't really advertise the fact that there's an entire web portal that allows you to do a lot more with the Aruba Instant On kit, because most of what they can supply you with are quick start guides. And it doesn't mention it at all in any of the kit, to which I'm having a much of a fun argument with Jason when he gets back. But yes, you can actually link it to external portals, so there are plugins, and yeah, alternatives available. I wonder if I could go live on TikTok. That might be fun. I haven't gone live on TikTok before. So let's have a quick look at guest networks. Wireless network. Guest. Portal. Yeah. That's fine. That's because it will be somewhere. Way. Let's close that. Was it? Yeah. Refresh my way around. What's the spanner do? No, just that. Network security. No, that's fine. Network access. No, that's fine. Where was that option that I did just see? Networks. Was it in there? No. Where is it? Go mad. We've got all our options tucked away in there. We do connectivity tests. Apology, fair enough. Boot protection, DNS, automatic. Oh, that's interesting. So it overrules your DNS loop protection. So RSTP, yeah, fine. Radio management, 20 megahertz, 22, yeah, fine. Transmit power is at max. Site management, that's what it was. Guest port, right. It's got Facebook, yeah, external. Let's go. So we've got Radius server, fine. So we could put in whoever we like. Social networks, yeah, that's fine. See what other. Default ones. So purple, fine. You just them. File labs. Interesting in any of these? No. They are already put in. Fine. Change a bit more color and stuff in there, which is good. Although, tell you what is missing there. And that's an interesting one, but then that doesn't actually surprise me. You can't generate passwords by the looks of it. So you couldn't actually have a code generated wireless solution, which is a shame. Meraki has the same limitation. Ruckus, however, does not have a zone director. And neither do Unify has that option as well. So let me they aren't that special actually. They're only AP12s. Yeah, AP pair of AP12s. So yeah, they're not. They're only Wi-Fi. They're only a 3x3 ACs. So I'm not even. There's no point me speed testing them because anything Wi-Fi 6 generally will blow them away. I find that quite odd actually. They sent a 1930 switch, so they sent flagship switch near enough, but they don't send out flagship APs with the test kit. Yeah, I can add devices. I can set up a new site. So again, you can obviously, yeah. I mean, it gives you obviously a bit more of an options. I'll tell you, say this is something that both Aruba and Meraki haven't. Well, I can't say anything for Aruba's main system, but I know Meraki's main system does not have the option for generating codes for guest wireless networks. Ruckus, however, does. Obviously, Ubiquiti do as well, which would imply that TP-Link probably do. Don't know about Ngenius. You'd have to look at your kit for that because I haven't managed to get hold of any yet. I'm intrigued. What's an AP11D? AP11D. What is an AP11D? It's an access point. Is it an access point with something interesting in it? Or is it the fact you can use the access point as a router? I mean, tell me that's not horrendous Photoshop. The floating access point. Come on. Right. Combining wired and wireless, APLMD mounted on wall of desk, aesthetically pleasing. Go on then, how much is one? I'm in Europe. Most specifically in the greatest country in the world. Oh, NetXL will do them. Let's have a laugh, shall we? Let's see how much they are from Net. Because that's who this kit came via. This came via NetXL, our kit. So, AP12s. So, these are, I think that. So, the access points I've got here, 3x3 APs, are £140. And they've got a baby one that's 96. Is that the cheapest? Fine. So how much is the switch I've got here then? Ports. The AP22, I just saw them, or the 22 or the 25. 25, I'm guessing, has superseded it, the 22. Oh no, there's a 22. So there's a 22. So £154, or are they 4x4s, 3x3s? Oh, they're 2x2s. So that is in direct competition with obviously the Cisco. And obviously will be in direct competition with, when it comes out, that which is a Light Plus. Or currently, the Light. Well, this was it. It's like effectively, it's kind of like, well, we'll send you the yeah. So 25 devices per site. We've already we've got sites that are bigger than that. And does that mean you then have to step up to full blown Aruba? And we've got way more than 50 sites. So that means we'd have to have multiple accounts. So these are all the considerations that have to go through my brain when comparing. Let's. Where's there? So there's a 1930 24 port PoE. So 1930 24 port PO. Oh, Jesus Christ, 1960. So which one do we have? Do we have Right. You and you. What's the difference? You the same product? No, you are a subtly different product with exactly the same. So there's been a revision at some. Okay, fine. Yeah, it's the same as the Ubiquiti in wall. Um, but it's a freestander, so I haven't seen that one. I'll have to go have a look. Want that? Go back. Right, switches. Go back to switches. Okay, supports PoE, yes, and gigabit ports 24. So let's go back to that. So again, I mean, this is just me using NetXL, they're one of our suppliers, and obviously, yes, we get pricing that is trade pricing, so it's a bit cheaper than what you see. Yeah, but so a 24 port switch, and I'm going to bring this up. So let's do a comparison. Networking. Switching. So the equivalent would be the 24 port Pro. I'm blind. So Inc. VAT 685. So yes, the Aruba switch is cheaper. Although that's this technically is a layer 3, so it would sit in between the two to a certain degree. Again, see, these are all the considerations that we're looking at in terms of differentiation. Um, yeah, the problem we have with RF power is over here it's considerably more nerfed. I don't know if does Canada use the same power standards as the United States? Um, because the US standards, you can throw out a lot more power than we can. In fact, I had to condemn some APs off of a site once because they've been sent the American APs and we're running the site as American at full power, which over here breaks the law. See, in theory, that layer 2 or layer 3? That is there. That's got 210 SFP and 210. Again, there's similar switch comparisons, but then if I go in look in the Meraki range or the TP Link range or the Ingenious range, if I could find a sodding Ingenious bloody supplier over here, they just seem to be in on the ground, and the suppliers that do exist are companies that I wouldn't deal with. So again, Great product. But is it right for what we do, and does it do anything different to what we need it to? Not really. They all do much the same thing. But the biggest difference is going to be, fortunately, sadly, that Aruba is owned by HP, and HP will at some point be wanting to cash in that investment they've made to try and grab some of the market back. As much as they say it's free for life, Meraki have said that it was warranted for life until they decided that it wasn't. We shall see. Can't say it's going to go anywhere. Obviously, it's not going to go anywhere in the next couple of years. Not expecting anything to happen like that. But it does raise the risk state. If at some point, once they've built the market big enough, Aruba decide to say, actually, no, we're gonna limit the amount of devices you've got, and if you've got more than 20 devices or 20 sites, you're gonna have to start paying. Then they've got a captive audience for their things. Then there's certain considerations and risk management that have to be taken for that. I would be interested to see. So their 19 series is, where's that? 1930, 1930. Is it the 1830s that's fanless? No. Well, that one's out of stock. So what's that? That's 12. Yeah. So again, that's a fanless. Um, so yeah, that's the equivalent to a Gen 2 PoE, which is what I've got sat up there. So yeah, it's horses for courses. Welcome. Good evening. You join us. Learning, and me winding Jason up if he's still there. So we have got. They got anything? What is their mesh mode then? Their mesh mode automatic? Got quiet. Yeah, we can turn the lights off. But is it automatic, or do you have to have a specific mesh AP? Product. Resources. Right. Resource library. Oh, I want things. Support. Support. How to. User guides. So how does the mesh facility? Mesh. Mesh. Smart Wi-Fi mesh. To mesh. With documentation then. Guides? No, back to there. Software, hardware, no. How would I set a mesh up then? If I wanted to. Smart Wi-Fi mesh. Okay. But is there a setting that I have to use? Mesh. So if I go and find you have to have specific ones to support mesh. Am I being blind here? Okay. So let's have a look. Mesh point 40. Oh, okay. So I can't do a mesh without a main mesh AP, it seems. Unless I'm reading that wrong. Okay, let's have a look. Action. There, radio. Nope, nothing there. Ports. Nothing tucked in there. So, am I reading this wrong? Is it specific to certain APs? Again, is this some mysteriously hidden thing? Mesh points. Mesh point is a Aruba AP can be meshed to provide the mesh role, depending on the AP model. Configuration parameters and how it's provisioned. Mesh point blah 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 blah. Okay. Mesh portals is the gateway between the mesh network and the yeah, that's fine. But that would say to me that you have to have a specific AP. Which, if that is the case, that's a bit disappointing. And is that just a? Oh, sorry, that's just Aruba. No wonder I'm looking at the wrong stuff. Thank you. Right, configuring mesh instant AP. Thank you. Sorry, I thought I was going. So mesh IAPs are configured right. Right. Supports blah 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 blah. When a mesh point discovers that Ethernet is up, it sends a loop. Yeah. Right. Okay. Feel that virtual is synchronized. Yeah, into a valid SSH. Thank you. That's what I was after. Took a bit of finding. So in theory, then, if I go and find PoE injector that's right PoE injector. Yep. And we go and grab PoE injector. Power cable for PoE injector. Unplug you. And we plug you into there. And then we come back here. This should come back online as a mesh PoE point. Let's find out. Let's see what wonders await in the excitement. Me, while I'm waiting for that to come up, more time for TikToks. Okay, so you're currently off. You're offline. So let's see. When you boot up, what you boot up as. Yeah, I've seen some of the problems he's had, and I've never experienced them. That's some of the craziness. On all of our networks, we don't experience the same issues, and it's frustrating. But we don't get issues, nowhere near. Multi social networking at the moment. Right. Is it going to mesh? You talk to you, please. I'm hoping so. Jason, where have you gone? Why does this mesh not work? Okay. There. Yes. Uh, you are excused, Rich. Don't worry. This is a addendum to the earlier stream from today, whereby Jason enlightened me as to the fact that the Aruba kit that I've been playing with actually has a portal that you can play with. But they don't tell you that in anywhere other than tucked right out the way on the website, because it is mentioned in none of the writing and literature that comes with the kit. All it says on the kit is use the app. To which he berated me greatly to say that you don't use the mobile app, you use the portal. And I went, what portal? And he went, this portal. And I went, but they don't tell you about that portal. So we're having a learning session. There we go. We've got a mesh AP. So I'm learning how the Aruba kit works through the joy of their portal, whilst answering TikToks as well. So we're multitasking today. Someone asked me a question on Netgears. Netgears. Answer a question relating to Netgears quickly. Used Netgear switches for a very long time, and as much as people berate them, if you buy the right model, they just work forever. I've got switch stacks from Netgear that have got uptimes over 4 years with no issues. Their AP and their AP management used to be a bit flaky. I've not used anything recent from them. If someone from Netgear wants to send me some Netgear AP, some of their cloud managed or their locally managed stuff, that would be fantastic, because it'd be nice to see what's changed. The last time I used it, it was atrocious. I'll say that. It was absolutely shocking. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see what's changed. I mean, I used to use the old white Netgear APs, but that was 10 plus years. Used their AP. Can't honestly answer. Oh, it's all good fun. Right. So that's nice to know. So if I go topology, does it tell me that? Yes, it does. It shows me that's a meshed AP, which is great. But as it stands, there is still stuff that I can do on Unify that I still can't do on this, but I still can't do those same things on Meraki when you pay for it. Oh, it's all good fun jumping around between all the different posts and procedures and everything else. Ah. Sorry, I was having an issue with I was trying to read up on how to get mesh working, but it's exactly the same as Unify. You just unplug it, basically. So I've just unplugged this one and plugged it into a PoE injector, um, because I was intrigued. Oh, yeah. This is the thing. I mean, where's my switch pile? My switch pile is down there, and it is mostly um, old Netgears. And there's nothing wrong with them. They still work. They're just old Netgears. There's one switch that has a lifetime warranty, and this is the whole thing about lifetime warranty. I've got a Netgear down there that's got lifetime warranty that I do need to send back. I just haven't got the enthusiasm to send it back because I've got to jump through so many hoops to fulfill the lifetime warranty. Yeah, I've got a PoE injector for the AP, so it's fired up and is working. But yeah, Netgear. Um, Again, I think they've gone in the wrong direction for some things. They've always been an underdog. They've always been a solid product so long as you spent the right money on them. And the fact that there are still so many old Netgear switches running infrastructure throughout the world pays homage to that. The world runs on small white Netgears hidden in offices. I've said this many times. Many times you'll turn up to a new customer's site where they don't know what's going on and go crawling around in little crawl spaces under desks, and you will find little blue or little white old M100 early gigabit network switches chugging away never been switched off in their lives. Yeah, yeah, that's one of the changes. We had I've got a site we look after, and every single switch on that site is Netgear. They have 6 Netgear switch stacks scattered over 4 sites. Every single one of those switch stacks has an uptime now exceeding 4 years. No issues. I still have to go in and make changes. Don't have any issues with. They just keep on working. And then they added another cabinet in, and we had to put just a little baby. I think it was a little 10-port PoE Netgear switch in, just to keep everything sane. And the first thing it said to me was, "You now need to register." And I almost threw the thing out the window. I was furious at that. That was not on, because it was a locally managed device. It was one that you could opt in to their cloud management. You didn't have to use it. But you still had to register the switch before you could manage it locally. And that was frustrating. That was just not on. You shouldn't need to do that. I mean, I can literally go over here. I mean, they're filthy, but there you go. There's switch me back to there. So there's a pair of PoE Netgears. These work perfectly. These are my, if I need to throw a switch in at something that just needs PoE, you just throw these in, because they work. They will carry on working until the sun explodes. They're they're just that simple and well built. They are manageable if you need them to be, but if you just need a dumb switch, you just throw them in. Yeah, this is it. Those the little white pill-shaped Netgears, I remember putting them in brand new over 15 years ago into businesses, and they are hidden all over the world. Occasionally, you'll see posts on Reddit and everything else where people will go, "I found this," and it's just this ball of dirt with network cables in it. And when they brush it off, it's either a little blue or a little white Netgear switch. They run the world as much as people sort of want to think Cisco does. No, no, little white Netgears do. Um, where I've thrown it at the moment, but somewhere in here there is a 48 port fully managed layer 2 plus Netgear that needs to go back. I mean, that was the nice thing as well. It was so easy to work out what it was. I'm waiting at some point, hopefully, I'll be able to pull some of the switch stacks back, because they were great switch stacks for what they cost at the time. Um, Bang for buck, better than anything. Um, the only thing they lacked was any form of central management, which is where the world moved. That's um, it's just trying to think what I did with it. I've got it here somewhere. I just don't know where. Let me go see if I can find it. Um, no, over here. Let's go for a wander. I don't actually know what I've done with it. Okay, really. Actually, probably finding it because it's Need of RMA. I have no idea. I've lost an entire 48 port switch somewhere. Think there. What's up there? Hmm. I don't know what I've done with it. I've lost a switch. I don't think it's downstairs, and I don't think I've taken it out because I had it in a pile with some other switches. So where have I put them? I'm not sure where I put that switch. Oh well. I'm sure at some point it'll something, or I've buried it somewhere. Knowing me. But that was, again, that was the first ever 48 port switch I bought for myself. Um, oh, yeah. God knows what I've done with it. It could be absolutely anywhere. I'm sure I'll come across it at some point anyway, and get it RMA'd and actually use it for something because they were just such a good switch. If you just wanted something to do some simple work at the end of the day, they were just a layer 2 plus switch. Um, right, let's go back to, yeah, that's the thing. I will find it when I'm not looking for it, but just to I'll just show you this. This is the roaming cam. Hello. At the moment on the floor around me, this is the mess I'm in at the moment. I've got servers and sophoses tucked down there. I've got more servers over there, tucked there. And then we've got more servers tucked down there at the moment. There's a net app there as well that's here to be wiped, and I'm going to play with before it may or may not go back on site. That has got full enterprise flash in it. There's a dead UPS there that needs to probably go be disposed of at some point, but yeah, I've got two of them, so I might try and make one. Oh, the little 230, there she is. It's nice and quiet now, which is good. Let me move you guys back up there a second. You can look at the extraction fan while I switch you over. Yeah, the 230, cracking little bit of kit that is. As you can see, sat over here, there is currently 3 XG450s underneath the Aruba switch. Because I've got the camera up and everything, I'm just filming, getting those set up to get everything ready to go in, and all the fun and quirks, which in the earlier stream I did today, I did explain that I'm having to split it down because it's a lot of work actually to prep and set up a firewall and try and squeeze it into sort of bite-sized chunks. But the idea is I'm going to squeeze it down, get it done, do the setup, and do everything else and do some fun stuff and do some comparisons. I've just prepped a USB pen on this machine with pfSense to load onto one of those. Obviously, if anyone following on the old shorts, you'll hear you heard the musical, one of those where you get the pretty tones after you reload XG software on them. The question I'm pondering is what to load on the third one. I know, Jason, you were a fan of Untangled in the past. I'm sure I found Palo Alto do a trial that you can run of their firewall, but I think it's virtual. So effectively, I'd have to load a hypervisor on one of them and then virtualize a firewall. Isn't the end of the world, but it's not ideal. So again, I mean, I could load OpenSense, but it's more about, yeah, demonstrating the throughput between PFSense versus Sophos XG. It's a shame Fortinet do not do a home version of their software, or Checkpoint, because that would be so much nicer to be able to do a like for like comparison. What's that? R220 and R320. Yeah. I have got an R. Yeah, I've got an R320 running down there that runs quite a few little gaming servers. I have also got a pair of HP DL 160s or 120s. I can never remember. It's whatever the machine I'm currently streaming on is, actually. I think they're DL 120s. One is a Hyper-V server running production stuff. The other one is my workstation that I'm streaming you to on this now. And they're pretty quiet for one use servers, but then they're quite low load servers. They do pipe up if I reboot them. They get very loud if I reboot, but then they quiet down. But it's coming more and more down to power usage. That one on the front, this one here, that's a 380. Yeah, that's a DL 380p Gen 8. Behind it is an R730. So when I've cleared that lot up and sorted out what I'm doing here, I will get both of those up on the desk and do a like for like comparison. When I get back up country, I have some R710s to pull back off of a site where they've been off for like 5-6 years. So I'm pulling one or two of them back purely and simply to show people how power usage has become more efficient with the newer servers, and especially with the 11th gen, and it'd be the Gen 7 series of HPs and anything of that era now. Really, people are still trying to sell them for silly money, and it's just like, no, do not waste your money on that. The minimum you want is, yeah, Gen. The problem, I can't ever really recommend HP just because of the paywall they put in place. It's 11th, no, sorry, 12th gen and up Dell, and it's becoming 13th gen and up now just because of age. The I've got a couple of down here and down there, some super micros as well. The X Elemental ones. I don't know if you subscribe to Jeff over at Craft Computing. He's got the same ones that I've got for the GPUs, but I've got one of the normal Supermicro chassis, which is equivalent to a 13th gen Dell slash 9th gen HP. So I can do some demonstration, and I video I did the other week. That is a like for like. So the R620 that I've got sat down there against the RX, that was an RX 200 Series 8. Those are like for like generational servers, and they use exactly the same amount of power. The only difference between the Dell and the Fujitsu is the Dell is just better built in every single way. As someone who's supported Fujitsu clusters for coming up to be a decade soon, I highly advise not to use Fujitsu servers. They're cheaper, but they're cheaper for a reason. For what you can get Dells for now, and you can get all the parts for Dells. Yeah, this is the thing. It's when obviously I post a few videos with all the Sophoses, and people are like, "Oh, just use Meraki MXs and things like that." I'm like, no, because Sophos for home use is free. It's such a shame. it's the only comparisons are at the moment, as far as I'm aware, is pfSense and OpenSense are the only other ones. I'm going to fire one up with pfSense. I might fire the other one with OpenSense just to do a comparison side by side. But their underpinnings are practically the same. It's just the on top bit that is, in my opinion, OpenSense does significantly better. And I want to confirm something. In fact, Jason, you might be able to do this because you've loaded a couple of OpenSense boxes, and I haven't played with it for probably a good year or two. From memory, there are no deny all firewall rules in pfSense. Are there any in OpenSense when you freshly load a box? So if you freshly loaded an OpenSense, is there already a deny rule in there? That's something that I haven't played with for a bit because that's one of the things that Sophos get right. There is basically 3 firewall rules when you first fire them up. One is to allow web access, one is to allow email relaying for the alerts, and the third is to deny everything else. So yeah, I'd just be intrigued to know that because I'm pretty sure that by default the deployments may well be why there's a lot of pfSense firewalls on Showdown is that the default deployment used to be unsafe. Don't know if it still is, but yeah, yeah. HP's paywall is frustrating. It doesn't need to be there. It hurts. It hurts IT. It hurts the whole profession. It makes the whole industry less secure by putting things behind a paywall, especially for security. The fact is, I can get updates for the Gen 8 now. You never used to. The Gen 8 microservers I've got sat there, you never used to be able to get their updates until HP got effectively shamed because of the Spectrum and not Spectrum, Spectre patching. They had to release them. The Gen 9s, the Gen 10s, it hurts the second-hand market, which is in HP's favor because they want to sell new servers. It's why I don't like HPE really as a company. They may produce some great products, demonstrated with the Aruba kit, but as a company, their sole focus is just money. They want is just money, and it's such a shame. They actively hinder the home lab environment and people trying to learn how to do stuff and get to grips with stuff. It's very, very Cisco-esque. I mean, it's the sort of thing. It it would not surprise me if they get to a certain point and decide that that actually they're just not going to produce updates for anything without being paid for. It's such a shame. It hurts end users. It hurts companies. Um, yeah, that's exactly correct, Rich. The reason the second-hand market exists is because people do not have money all the time for new kit. We generally, the only time I will actively sell refurbished kit is for small servers and things like that, where companies, yes, if they do need a small server, I will go and hunt through our suppliers and get maybe a previous generation. So at the moment it'd be a company, maybe either an R240 for them or a second-hand R250 because they are around. The chassis are around. We use Dell. I would only put Dell servers in now. Um, I wouldn't trust Lenovo's, unfortunately. I've had too many bad experiences, and again, I rate them above Fujitsu, but again, the quality of the product since they left IBM and became Lenovo servers has gone down. Obviously, yeah, Fujitsu. Supermicro, yes, potentially I would put them out there, but only if it was something where there was a really specific reason for it. everything else. Dell 4-hour pro support, and it's I'm going to say it's not that you can't go wrong, because Dell are not a perfect company, but for our clients, it serves them well. Right, let me flick back over to this. Go. What was I thinking I needed to do a like for like? So back into the site management. So guest portals for this. Now, without having a standalone portal, looking at the Instand on, is there so there's no option to have a landing page with password? No, just got terms and conditions. Okay. Nothing else much going on there, so we can change logo on. Grab some logo, shall we? Put a little logo in. Got our company logo in there. Gonna do anything? Hello? All files. Why is that not working? Okay. Peoples. Grab you. Let's have that, shall we? Make the guest network look regal. So, font color. Burnished gold. There we go. Enter or paste your terms and here. Fine. Apply those changes. Welcome to Guest Network. So, again, this suffers from the same issue that Meraki has, in that the guest network is kind of second thought. Oh yeah, if you want to have a guest portal, yeah, use a third-party service. We don't want to be dealing with that. Oh, we'll give you a little page for that, but nothing major. 2 seconds. Let me just switch. Yeah. You. Now let's stay on the minute. Sorry, I'm just gonna update that. Flick over to this is my cloud key. They're not bad servers. That's the problem. They just seem to be a bit rough around the edges, I suppose. I've got one up here. I've got what are you? You're an RD650. It's an older server. I think it's a third V3 Xeon. So it's again 13th gen equivalent, I believe. Which, as a server, as I say, I've got 2 to pull off site because they've been working absolutely fine. The problem is can't do the BIOS update on them, because the last two that I've BIOS updated on them to get the firmware up to date on them, it has bricked the motherboard. Even if you follow the step by step by step by step, you get to a certain step and you have to do a version jump, which you have to go hunting for the versions now. It bricks the motherboard. Yeah, it's they. I would hope they've improved. I know you've got a big boy one for your play around server, Jason, which is, they say, it's it's a difficult question, and again, especially at the moment with not so much. I think of the right words here. There is quite a difference, it seems, in certain IT infrastructure availability between Europe and the US. We have seen it where the easiest comparison. It's like, for us, I'm trying to find Ingenious distribution over here just so I can find some to play with it. It's nigh on non-existent. Whereas you go over to the States, it's everywhere. Now, it's not that Ingenious isn't available over here, because I've come across their kit through the years loads of times. Find APs, all sorts of stuff. Plenty of it around. But finding actual distributors or finding genuine distributors is difficult. We have a supplier base over here that I can get hold of most kit. I've even actually, when I was looking at here, I have spoken to our account rep at NetXL and recommended to them that they go and look into Ingenious and try and find a supplier so that they can bring it and be a genuinely good distribution platform in the UK. You can see, as I say, yet on the flip side, like Draytech, who over in Europe actually, and here we used to use a lot of Draytech products, quite common. Over stateside, very very rare. You don't find them that often. So yeah, there's certain products, and it's a shame because again, the Draytech products, other than their access points were hot garbage. After the AP810 came out. But the routers are indestructible, is the only word I can come up with for them. They genuinely are, or they were for their time, a bomb-proof device, so long as obviously you set it up correctly. But they came with so many features. Yet you speak to people stateside and they've never heard of them. It's one of those sort of differences that we find a lot of. Let's say, I'm just having a think. Actually, I wonder if broadband buyer have got any genius. I haven't looked at their site yet. They have Ingenious. No, they've got WatchGuard, Ubiquity, Netgear. No, Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi 6E access. Oh, okay, come on. Who's already pushing Wi-Fi 7? Oh, well. TP-Link have announced Wi-Fi 7 by the looks of it. That's gonna be interesting. Oh. Oh, that's gonna be beautiful. Okay. I don't know how many people here would remember Draft N and I think it was Draft 2N. There was a few variants, wireless N drafts that came out when they tried to launch things early. So we're going back to that. TP-Link are trying to jump the gun. Interesting. That's a bit silly. Anyway, let's go back to wireless access points. Manufacturer. Aha. Okay, I think I might have just found my Ingenious supplier. Got to look at these guys. Yay! Yeah, I remember Draft N. I remember installing D-Link Draft N AP routers. Right. So, what do I want? I want. I hope you don't mean that one, Jason. I can't afford that. And I'm not spending that on an Ingenious. That's Ruckus money and Cisco money. Let's just drop back to wireless a minute. There we go. Okay, so which one are you thinking? Again, we don't order a lot from them, mainly because their pricing is usually too high. But it's interesting to know that they stock Ingenious. But again, price point. It's all about price point. What is it going to gain the customer? Great for the figurehead numbers, but considering even in our densest sites, people aren't transferring gigabytes of data around anymore. Again, all of this is all back orderable, so there's nothing in stock particularly other than that one. So what difference does that the right one, or so that's a 2.5 gig one, but still that's 300 quid an AP, and it's not going to gain me anything in the real world. Now, obviously, again, I can probably I can get an NFR version of that, which is fine. That's more of it, but what will that do for our clients that a Ubiquiti one or equivalent one for half the price and a gigabit interface would do? I mean, we're quite lucky in terms of availability for everything else. I mean, I'm gonna go back to our supplier or our guy at NetXL and have a word. But yeah, the actual. Let's have a look. I mean, I'm just gonna. Sorry, I gotta go back and have a laugh. I need to see those TP links. I need to find out. So Wi-Fi 7, right? Let's go have a look at this. Sorry, we're going off. We're going off on an adventure. So let's have a look. The EAP7U. Come here. Come here, TP Link. I need a laugh. So coming soon. See, I see your ingenious blistering fastness, and I raise you two 10 gig. Okay, so stutter free. So, what's their target client for this? What is the target client? So we've got sideband, 5 gig, 2.4. Supports coloring, which it should do with the Armada and Armada Cloud. Yeah. Okay. What else have we got? They seem to be spamming out APs left, right, and center. The 336. What's that? The Ingenious. What, Ingenious or TP Link? The 336. Oh. Oh. You mean this nice cheap access point, Jason? This you got a choice. You can have one tri-band AP, or I could throw in four normal APs. Okay, how much is the 337? I'm game. So 336. Where's the 337? There's the 33. That was 377. No, and this is the thing. This is where it's not even showing. I don't think their cloud managed solution. Oh, that one there is. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, ECW. No, did that one? That one. 230S. Genius. Yeah, the only cloud managed one I've got here is the 230S, which but it doesn't matter as much over here. That's the problem. We cannot output anywhere near the power that you guys can. As I say, if you are on the US subset, so if you're on the US rules, we cannot get close to that. It's one. It's a frustration over here. Where are let's have a look specification. So 23 dBm. So it's got 4 antennas in it. And I'll say this, for that money, I would be looking at Ruckus. I would be looking at the big boy Ruckuses at that money. Yeah, that's our advantage. We've got a couple of additional channels, but we we are limited. So obviously we have got 13 channels available to us. But we are also limited again. Don't know what the difference with that's UK. Let's see. Obviously, again, we can have a gain on the antenna arrays. Band A is 23 dBm, 200 milliwatt. So, and then you can step up to outdoors. We can obviously, that's the funny bit. We can use band C indoors at 200 milliwatt. Where are we? Find the US limit of the same. Might as well do Canada as you're in Canada. Canada Wi-Fi power limit. What is your wireless power limit? Canada. I just read something. Did I catch that? Are you the same as us, or are you less than us? No, you're the same internally for 5 gig. Do you have... That's point to point. Don't want point to points. I want internals. Right, let's have back here. So you are on Canada. The lines. That's there. Yeah, above 1 watt you do. The interesting thing, we've got a customer who is a hotel. This hotel is situated on the top of a hill, and a local WISP came to them and said, "We will give you free 100 meg broadband if we can put a relay point on your building." So they agreed to that. I had an email come through the other day, obviously, going, "Oh, we keep getting interference and we're having to change channels on our kit on the hotel." And it's like we keep picking up things in band C. And I'm sat there thinking, well, how's that our problem? I mean, around it's no problem. But I'm like, how's that? Oh, you need to be licensed. And I'm like, no, you don't. You only need to be licensed if you're above 200 milliwatts and using it outdoors. We're using our kit, it's all Ubiquity kit, indoors, and it's channel scanning and knows it's indoors. And yeah, it's quite amusing that they're sat there sort of spouting stuff. It's like, well, hold on a minute, no, I knew that band C was available for indoor use. Excuse me. Knocking the dust around up here at the moment. So yeah, it's interesting. ECW 130. So let's have a look. ECW 130. If I can. ECW 230. again, it might be that we don't have that model available here. Nope. I don't think we have that model. That might be a stateside or a Canadian model. Again, this is one of the frustrations with comparing products from the two different sides of the pond. Your products that can be really, really good, the European equivalent can be utterly, utterly shocking. If I can find, there we go. So I've got it over here. Oh, okay. Yeah, go to Ingenious UK, please. Yeah. But Wi-Fi 5. Oh no, there it is. So yeah, hasn't launched over here yet, so I can't get it. So this is again, as much as this is some of the frustration. So it may be a great product, but we can't get it, and if it's not in distribution, can't compare it, and I have to wait. And by that time, it will be a potentially a different outcome. Let's have a quick look. So, data sheet specification. So we've got yeah. This is the difference. So we've got 24 dBm. You can put out 27. This is why a lot of the time people recommending APs, if you are dealing with American APs, the results will always be different to European AP. Purely and simply because you can drown entire segments out with the additional power output. So that's always a consideration that we have to come in, put into effect. It's why you'll often find, while you get some fairly dense wireless environments in places, you almost have to add an additional like 1.5 times as many APs again over here. So where someone may do a business with 10 APs in an area, we may have to look at closer to 15 APs to cover the same area with the same level, because our power levels have to be lower. It's frustrating, but that's the joys of being a bit different. Again, if I can get hold of this kit, I'll quite happily test it, because I have got Ubiquiti kit in stock. I mean, just sat here. My AP up here is at the moment is a Nano HD, which is working beautifully. But I have got just a normal AC HD. I have got the 6 lights and everything. Thank you for joining us. It's always appreciate anyone coming along and getting involved. We've got, again, I've got all sorts of APs all over the place. I've even got old Unify APs. I've got old Armada APs. I want to get some new Armada APs so I can do a comparison again. TP-Link do seem to be sort of. I was just going to have a quick look to see what is going on over there. So let's have a look because they're. Let's have a look. So we'll go Wi-Fi 6. If I switch back to this is the silly thing. So there's an EAP225, but that is also an EAP225, and this is where TP-Link need to look at changing things because that's the same product name, but it's a different product. That this is a V3, that was a V2. And if you look at if someone just buys it based on the product name, and in fact, you've got an EAP225 outdoor. And you tell me. I mean, when that launched, the first thing that I did was take one look at it. And go, well, that's a blatant rip-off of an AC mesh. It's even down to the offset, even down to the offset network interface and reset button. There's just there for the minute. Yeah, there's pros and cons with every platform. I was in the middle of actually updating where have you gone? No, not there. You. I unadopted everything. It's no fine. I've still got stuff. Let's go in and wanted to check some quickly. Guest hotspots is so advanced manual. Got all the redirects. That's fine. Authentication types. Yeah, we've added in even more. I would love a base station XG. The biggest thing about them is I've got no genuine use for one. I could bolt one to the roof of my house, literally my chimney breast is there. I could point it straight down at the harbour and I could advertise free Wi-Fi. That's about the only thing I'd be able to do with it. I'm waiting for the Wi-Fi 6 base station XG to come out. Sorry, I just wanted to have a quick comparison because one of the things that again is missing out of a lot of the alternatives is things is in the guest portal is things like vouchers and payment hotspots. These are all things that are pushed out to third parties. I mean vouchers. That's one thing that Ruckus get right. You can have generate vouchers. Um, Payment. Don't know if they fixed it. I'm hoping they fixed this. I need to test it because someone's got that working. I need to find out if that is working again. Because if that's working again for campsites down here during the summer, that would be incredibly useful. Aero Hive. Oh God, are they still going? Yeah, it's still around. Yeah, those two options, vouchers and payments. You don't get that on Meraki. Can't do that with Meraki. Obviously, you can't do it with Instant On. Jason, have you got access to any normal Aruba, not Instant On stuff? Because I don't know if you can do that in there either. Ruckus, I know you can do vouchers because we used to do that. Because they have a built-in radius server for that. Flex HDs are nice. But Mesh 6s are the same but better. It's exactly the same chassis. So, oh, there you go. It's just a Wi-Fi 6 Flex HD, basically. We've got these being mounted up because, again, they look good. You can mount that on the outside of a building, and people don't see a block. It looks, I mean, it almost looks like a light fixture. They fit on the flex mounts as well, so at some point I do need to, again, I will get there is a chap, I could almost class him as a colleague, lives down the road from me. We work in the same industry, we bounce ideas off each other all the time. He does a lot of Ubiquity stuff now. He was mostly Meraki beforehand. On I mean, in all honesty, if you haven't got much that's Wi-Fi 6, there's no point. This is the thing. I'm Wi-Fi 5 up here. The house downstairs, I've got a Wi-Fi 6 Pro, and I've got the Dreamwall. They're both Wi-Fi 6. The only Wi-Fi 6 devices we've got in the house are our phones. All the laptops are 5, no issues. All my PCs 5, no issues. Most of the time, the only advantages you're getting with Wi-Fi 6 is in dense environments or out and out speed, which if you need out and out speed, plug it in with a cable. it's that sort of craziness. But there are certain things that, well, yes, I know Jason's probably going to explode, but there's reasons why Ubiquity does what it does. I know you don't like how it does the VLANing, but at the same time, this is changing now. They're in the new versions. This is all being changed on how it manages ports and port profiles. If let's go back here, actually. Oh, didn't want to do that. Gone too far. I want that one. This is the other one. Not installed that one. You'll have to excuse while I skip jump around. This is one of my test cloud keys. Before we do anything, we might as well roll on the latest version. I mean, my house down here is granite walls around the outside. My office downstairs that you'll see me work at sometimes on when I'm streaming games. So if I'm on Twitch, I'll be streaming from down there. That is the other side of a granite wall that is about that thick. Now, I have an AP in that office because of that wall, but if I can unplug it and I can still get signal from my dream, just not great signal. But at the same time, you will find that I don't suffer from any drops or anything like that. I've got houses either side of me that have got wireless networks. No great shakes there, and I'm running being a bastard, I'm running my network on 160 megahertz width just for the sheer fun of it. So I'm flattening the entire area, which is doing me no harm. I'm just doing it because I can, because I'm testing stuff, and it's just interesting to see what I can break. That's a lot of what it is. It's what can I break. Ooh, they've updated. I don't know if I can show you. No, I don't think I can. They've updated. Sorry, I've got my cloud keys in a rack mount, and I've got the little screen up, and they've updated the animation on the updating logo. Um, that's new. I don't know. Meraki's mounting system is good. I mean, these. I've not really looked at the mounting system on them. Looks like it'd lock in. I mean, the Meraki's work lock in, but you're judging things on like a bit of aesthetics. I mean, the TP Link systems, twist lock done. What more do you want? Um, it might not feel the nicest, but when you're trying to get one of these buggers off, but it's easy. You literally can almost, you can just twist them, or you just go pop and they come off. There's no issue with it. The, this one isn't. I mean, this is still a plasticky thing, but there's some quite some. I mean, you could do some damage to someone with that. Um, the Wi-Fi 6 APs, most of the bigger ones are metal, and they will do some damage. And honestly, on a wall, what do you want? A square thing or a round thing? I mean, doesn't really make much odds. These look prettier, in my opinion, significantly prettier. I mean, the Meraki mounting kits are pretty good. Um, but then it depends where you're going to mount them and what you're going to mount them to. If you're mounting these to ceiling tiles and they weigh an absolute ton, you're having to put spreaders on them versus the same thing in a Unify one. You can literally clamp done easy. You're not going to murder someone. They're not going to randomly fall off the ceiling. It's it's horses for courses. Um, whenever when we know we're never going to change your mind, Jason, but they're not as bad as you think. And again, we're not spending 800 quid on an AP. We're spending 150 quid on an AP. Different target audience. I mean, for what you spend on an AP, I can build a network for. And it will do everything that yours does, and it will stay up just as long. And it'll boot up quicker. I do say the Aruba stuff is a bit slow to boot, but then I noticed that with the Meraki stuff as well. The Cisco stuff, Jesus Christ, the business, that is horrendous. Right, so let's switch to early access. Core range. And we'll get that up to date. We can say they are changing that and how that behaves. And while that's going on there, let's check here and see if anything else is going on. Trying to think what other updating that a minute. We'll get that up to date. I think so. I now know where I can find ingenious stuff, so I can at least have a look at their cloud management. Look, cloud managed. So, oh, what's there? Okay, who's broken broadband buyer's website because Pixel is not ingenious? Um, so the ECW, that's a 230. Any? I mean, the difference between and Cisco is basically a couple of screw clips. The Ubiquiti mounting solution is obviously the plate, and you can clamp the plate to things at the back. Grab the right. Let's grab the Aruba box because I don't remember seeing. Oh, right, there we go. So the Aruba option. So we've got two different options. So I'm guessing one of these is lockable, one of them's not. I know we're not going to change your mind, Jason, but I'm going to wind you up on it for the rest of time. You're never going to live this down. So, okay, so that's there. Oh, I see. So we've got the twist. Wow. Okay. This great. I'm not seeing this. Try that one. Okay, so there we go. Right. Okay, so mounting options. This is mounted what to the wall, and there we go. So right. How would I get that off easily? I'm gonna have to get in there with a screwdriver and push those two apart. There's something I'm missing. I mean that, yeah, I can understand that's for mounting, I'm guessing, on ceiling rails. Yeah, I see. So you can mount that and lock it. That's for mounting on a wall, fine. I'm gonna go full screen on this one. There's we need to go webcam. The Dreamwall Pro hasn't been announced yet, other than in pictures, and the Dreamwall is still in EA. Now, end of life kit for Ubiquiti. The last actual genuine good kit they end of lifed would have been the hot swappable port switches, which never really made it into production or out of EA, and they didn't sell many. The I don't know what this thing is about Ubiquiti end of life in kit. I've got a box full of UAPs or UAPLRs, the single band 2.4, the original Unify APs. They all still work. They're all still adoptable in the controller. They're vintage, is what they are. Right. This great, amazing system. That's going to be an absolute pain in the ass. That genuinely, that's on the wall. And you put that on and twist lock it in place. Are you telling me that I've got to push in from both sides to unlock that? And that is better than a little tab that they actually send you a tool for now that flicks it up and twists and it comes out. I want you to justify that to me. To me, yes, while it's a firm, solid connection onto a wall, that will be an absolute pig. And I bet people have ripped them out of walls, especially if they're like little stud walls and things like that. I bet they have ripped them off walls trying to untwist those. I like it. It's a good idea. But it needs a release mechanism, and there isn't one. I mean, yeah. That goes in. So that goes in there. Twist. Christ, it's stiff. Good. Okay, so that's locked in place. This, but if someone comes along and grabs that and twists to release it, because that's locked in two places, there and there, that's gonna rip out the wall. That whole plastic section, those two screws, are just gonna be ripped out the wall. You tell me how that's wrong. Tell me how I'm doing that wrong. That's locked in place. That's the only way that can go on, unless there is some other magical way, because it doesn't fit that way, and it doesn't slide in because there's a lump on there. Yeah, but even if you're on the ceiling, where's the ceiling mount? Gone. I had it a second ago. There, ceiling mount. So that's the ceiling mount. Same thing. You have to put it on and twist. That's how they must mount. There's no other way to do it. There's no other mounts in the box. I've got nothing else in my box. There's nothing in there. Unless you know of some super secret magical levitation to hold that in. I mean, glue tack. That is asking for ceilings to be ripped off. In my honest opinion. Stand back in there a second. Put that over there. Just to go back. I haven't seen the price recently, Rich. Hold on. Let's have a look. I think it fluctuates around with the with the exchange rate. Greenwall, blimey, that has come down. The old APs. What? These old APs. The APLR old APs. I don't. I've got loads of them somewhere, but you can get it. You can use anything, just anything small and slim. I'm assuming that's if they don't lock them in place. I could understand. Hmm. Not nice. That's gonna. Yeah. Right. Let me show you this. .24 volt dropper, because obviously UAP. And as far as I'm aware, unless something has changed, pretty orange light. I can't. That's concrete. These are wooden beams. I haven't got a wall that's sensible to do it to right now. I will go and play somewhere with it. Yeah, I spotted the black. I know the black one is for T-bar, but I know I spotted it, and it's got thick and thin, which is a good thing. But you can imagine grabbing that and going twist and watching the whole ceiling flex, and having. I'm gonna wind you up something wrong. Right, I need to factory reset that one because it's already adopted. Where's a device? I don't think I've got one here at the moment. Need a paperclip. Toolkit out. Setting tool out. I think this was one of the ones I used for the Christmas tree. So factory reset. You can't adopt them. I'm pretty sure you can. They just need to be at the right firmware level. Because the last controller version these were running on was a version 7 controller. So, experiment. Factory reset. Not showing you this yet, but I will in a second. Because I just want to make sure I'm on the right version of controller. Right. Latest controller release is 7.3. Latest EA controller release is 7.4. Which is what I'm on here, because I was just going to have a quick look and see what they revised there. Wait for this AP to boot up a second. Yeah, it knows it's an old one, so it's obsolete. May have changed in 7.4, but I was pretty sure in 7.3 you could still adopt these. Yep. You can still adopt them in 7.4. They do, however, need to have version 4.28, I think, firmware. There is a minimum requirement. They do need to have been connected to a controller that has updated them. There you go. Alive, kicking. I give to you one UAP LR on the latest controller version. And I think there is a version. There is a caveat I will place around that, in that you have to have it at the right device. Yep. Tell me. No, it's not going to tell me. It has to be at the right firmware level. Otherwise, it will not adopt. You can't adopt version 3. There you go. 4.3.28. So it has to be on 4.3. If you don't have it on the 4.3 firmware, you can do a manual SSH update to that and it will adopt. But yeah, you can adopt these into a modern controller. Four 4.3.28. There we go. Fully adopted. Yes. Definitely not recommended. Definitely not anything that you should be doing. But, and this is one of the later ones actually, because it's got the thing. But you can adopt an original UAP AP access point into a 7.4 controller. And it will work, and you can control it, and you can set the wireless networks up, and it will behave as good as it did when it went end of life. So there you go. There's a broadcasting, quite happy. do all the features, but obviously in the modern world, it's not a lot of good because it's on the 2.4 frequency, which over here is, unless you live in the middle arse end of nowhere, is garbage. So, yes. I win that one. There you go. They may be obsolete, they may not be viable in the real world, but they still have uses. I can't think of any other than making Christmas tree shapes out of, which is what I did with them. Hence why I keep a box full, because sometimes they're just fun to play with. Unless you can find a firmware to blow over the top of them to do other stuff. I don't think you can open WRT them anymore. But yeah. And as far as I'm aware, if I go back in here and I forget it, it should nuke it and reset it. So, ta-da! Yeah, there we go. Factory reset. One of the things about using Unify a lot is you do learn that, yeah, there are some things that, although people say can't be done, they can. Not recommended, but you can do it. I have just piles of APs here. This is your fault. I am pondering about just getting a wooden bar up there and just screwing all the different ones to it to make a wireless like test wall. Yeah, a little rack for putting the corresponding switches in. I wonder if I should make that as a short demonstrating adopting an out of date AP into a controller software. Yeah. What else? That one here. Pretty sure the Aruba app just whinged at me because yeah. Yeah, it's right. Right, let's unplug that. Not plugged in anymore. I wouldn't recommend keeping them on site either. We've got 2 sites with them left on. One of them is over in Jersey, so it's a ferry trip to go and replace, and we're waiting for the go ahead to do that. They know they need replacing. The other is literally one that's a roaming AP um, on a uh, on a site. Uh, right, there we go. Things have been learned. Anyway, I think I'll wind it down there because it's now nearly 10 o'clock over here and I have to get up in the morning, do some work. Thank you for joining me, Jason, and pointing me in the direction of the portal for Aruba. I will give that some more playtime over the next couple of days and come up with some ideas for it. It's not, however, it's a good product. I can see where they're trying to pull things back in. Again, we may end up using it for some clients. It just depends on, again, cost, availability, functionality. Hopefully HPE won't do their normal trick of sticking things behind paywalls. I do hope so. I do hope they don't do that. I mean, that would be That's one way to piss off a entire thing, but it wouldn't be the first time companies have pulled that stunt. Um, and if it gets popular enough, I expect they will. That's the only problem, because it will cost them more to run the infrastructure, because there's going to come a point where they'll plateau off and they won't be able to afford to run the infrastructure for all the hardware that they've sold. It's going to be interesting to keep an eye on that. Meraki Go as well is another one I need to get hold of some kit. I might have to have a. I don't think. I know they're a Cisco partner, but that's for phones only. I don't think they do Meraki. I might have to have a word with my Meraki guy and see what he's got. See if he's got any Go kit that I can borrow. But yes, and I need to have a play with an MX firewall from Meraki, because it's been a long time since I saw one. So there will be some comparisons. Right, you enjoy the rest of your day over there. Thank you, anyone else who's been joining and watching. I am going to bed, and hopefully this week I will be finishing off the XG450 video, which I have started most of it. I'm going to have to start breaking them down into little chunks, as demonstrating these things takes a bit of time. I might pick your brains, Jason, if you're still there at some point, on OpenSense, doing a comparison overall. And I will catch up with you all later on. Thank you for joining me. Until next time.